Hello, friends. Welcome, empaths. I'm Amy, and this is Warrior Empaths Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. Thank you for joining me, and I encourage you all to like and subscribe. And you can also check out my Facebook page, which is Warrior Empaths Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. And also, I am an introspective life coach, and my specialty is in narcissistic abuse healing. So if you're feeling a need and you want to reach out, please do. You can reach me on my Facebook page. You can also email me or leave a message here under the comments, and I will get back to you. I am also offering opportunities for support groups. After I got out of my narcissistic relationship, I found it very helpful to be in a couple of support groups, because you are with people who have been through the same thing that you have been through. They know how you feel, and we are here to encourage, to assist in any way you need. So today's topic is not an easy one. It's very difficult. And it's the smear campaign. I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about, but a smear campaign is pretty much what it sounds like. It is. It is an attempt to make you look bad. It is fabrication. It is lies about who you are and what you do in order to destroy you. And yes, it is true that narcissists' goal is to ultimately destroy that target. They do this because it makes them feel better, brings up that fragile ego, and also they have to protect their image. That's plain and simple. So right before the discard phase, they start feeling out friends, family, can be your family, their family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, you name it. They start feeling them out to see who they expect will be on their side. And because they're thinking they're going to do this discard, and of course they don't want to look like the mean person. They have to protect that image of being such a nice, kind individual that will go out of their way to help people, where deep inside they are people who just don't care about anything other than themselves. Okay, we did go through why they discard. They could be bored. They also could be in another relationship. Many times when a narcissist is preparing to discard the old supply, they have found a new supply that they have been grooming during this time. And during the discard, they feel that the new supply is now ready to take its place as the primary supply. So they will give you the discard. Also, with smear campaigns, even if you discard them, causing a narcissistic injury, they will still go through the smear campaign. And these smear campaigns are really serious business for these narcissists. They really throw themselves into it. And you may not even know at first that there is a smear campaign going on. I didn't know for the first couple months. I felt at the time, us empaths, we can tell when people are treating us different. We can tell when something is not right. And we can feel when people are leaving us out of the community, the family, whatever. It's another way of isolating the target, the victim, us, and taking away all our support so they can really come in and destroy us. So, like I said, you may not even be aware that the smear campaign is starting up. And it may start, just a little here, a little there. One of their favorite ways to smear is to make you look out of control and make you look unstable. That is their very favorite way of doing things. What they usually do during the ghosting and the ghosting phase, and where they're devaluing you, what's happening there is they're probably now starting to talk to these people who end up being their flying monkeys that will do their bidding throughout this smear campaign. And they feel them out, and then they also will bring up, oh, I was so good to her or him. I took such good care. But you know what happened? And I can't believe it. But she went crazy when I said something about another person, or he went crazy. when I spoke of another person. And they just keep dropping little hints, and they keep reinforcing the fact that they were so good and did such great things for you and about you. And now they are the victim. They're good at planning themselves as victims. Excuse me. So, they are talking about you. You will lose friends, probably mutual friends. And you may not know what they're saying, but or what's going on. It may take you a while to feel your balance. Know that your intuition is telling you that there is something very, very off, and look into it. And what you need to do during this time frame is to go no contact. I know that's impossible if you share children, but as you have to limit any of your conversations to and about the children, and work on being gray rock. And while you're in the middle of a smear campaign, I know that is the most difficult thing to do, because it requires showing no emotion and no reaction to what this narcissist is doing and has done. And if they feel that you are also gray rocking or going no contact, they'll up the ante on the smear campaign. And for those of you who may be in a divorce with a narcissist, this is another spot that they will attack you and accuse you of being something that you are not. They may do it to, they may want to take the kids away. Not that they want the children. They just want to have them so you don't have them. And that people will look good, will think they look good by having those children. And oh, what a wonderful person for fighting for that child and that children. With the narcissist I was involved in, I heard about his first wife and how she beat those two boys that they had. And when he had enough and left, he took those boys with him. He was not going to allow anyone to beat his kids, not even their mother. When I heard this, I thought, well, that's a possibility, but he's really putting this, really emphasizing this, and over the top about it. So they will do things in the court, in your life, with your friends, your family, co-workers, employers. They'll do go to anyone and who they think will listen to them about how evil, how difficult you are, how crazy and out of your mind you are, and these awful things and words that you have said about them. And being a narcissist, what they're claiming you said and what you did is what they said and they did. And mainly once they have all these people organized, these flying monkeys organized, they will then encourage the flying monkeys to harass, to hassle you and me. I was through it. And it isn't pretty. None of it's pretty. And it's so over the top gross that it's even hard to tell other people that this is going on, because this is just so over the top crazy, and you don't know why this person is doing it. So you feel, even if you confide to someone about what is going on, they won't believe you. Not only because they've been listening to, they may be ones who have listened to the narcissist, but because the actual situation and the actions this narcissist is taking is so crazy and over the top. Now, the smear campaign against me lasted a year and a half. It just ended about 4 or 5 months ago. And it ended because the narcissist and the new supply moved out of this community. He still returns, though. I've seen him once, and other people have seen him multiple times. So he's there. He's trying to get information about me. He wants to think that I am just so devastated and so hurt that because he's no longer with me, he still wants to control my feelings and my actions. Well, he's not getting any of that information now. So that's good. And also, when this smear campaign starts, once you realize that it really is what it is, you will need to drop some friends. You may have to distance yourself or drop family members, because they could be, and probably are, if you have any suspicion whatsoever that they are still in communication with the narcissist, do let them go. It's hard to do, but it's even harder and feels worse as you go along and find out that you had a good friend, a best friend, that was a flying monkey. Now you can expect them to do just about anything in these smear campaigns with their flying monkeys. And yes, they will use the new supply as a flying monkey too. I'll let you know what happened in my situation. First off, I got a complaint about my dog's barking. I now know that it was the new supply was sent to the office, the apartment complex office, to report my dogs. And then steadily throughout the year, his flying monkeys were making tracks. Just, there was a whole path there between the flying monkeys and the office of those people running to the office to report me for something. One time they reported me because I wasn't nice to the new supply. And other times I asked the managers, what are they saying? Why are they reporting me? And I was told that they just couldn't get along with me. They never, other than the dogs, and I wasn't nice to the new supply. One time, they couldn't come up with any more specifics. But they kept making their way to the management, trying to harass me. And then that didn't work. About a year later, that wasn't working. So, and it was right after I outed the narcissist. I outed him on his lies. The lie that he had been married a fourth time. He never mentioned that he had been married a fourth time. Some people he told twice, others 3 times. I was told 3 times. I did a background check. Everything about him and his entire life was a lie. He had reported that he had been an owner-operator, driving truck throughout the country. And then, for some reason, he sold his rig after about several years, and he went to work for another relatively major trucking firm. In this background check, and I did quite a few, I really wanted to get to the truth. I didn't want, I really wanted to find that he had been a trucker, just to prove that he's not that bad of a guy. But he is. He never had a license to drive a semi. He never owned a rig. And there was no mention of him working for this very major trucking firm. And if he had, it would have been on that. It would have been on that background report. Also, earlier in his life, when he married the third wife, he was living, or they were living in Phoenix, Arizona. He told all of us in this community and told my family, my friends, that he had been a sheriff's deputy in Maricopa County of the Phoenix area. No. What he did work in Phoenix was as a heat and cooling mechanic at the Phoenix Biltmore Hotel. Nice place, you know? But no, and he would make up these fantastic stories of how they would, take the inmates' underclothing and dye them pink and then force them to wear it and force them out in the yard, in the prison yard, wearing their pink undies. Oh, he had whoppers, let me tell you. So it was right after I had, slyly presented him that I knew about this. So that was a narcissistic injury, a huge one. I found out. Actually, I was kind of proud of myself. And it certainly did help with understanding the type of person he is. And it made sense for why he said he lived in all these different towns and states across the country. So after that, 3 days later, I was to hold a meeting. I had been elected the council president for the community, and it was to be my first meeting. Well, I go to the community room to start the meeting. As I'm making my way through, people are coming up to me saying, "No, it's been canceled, it's been canceled." I'm like, "What do you mean? I didn't cancel it. Who canceled it?" They wouldn't say. I looked and I saw the notifications were down. I said, "Well, I'm going down there anyways, and whoever wants to participate in the meeting, please join me." I got to the community room, and at that time there was probably 6 people there. And we started the meeting about what we thought would be important for the community and what they would like, services they may like in a 55 plus community. Suddenly, 6 more women come pouring into the community room. I was at a table, sitting at a chair with a small table in front of me. They did a semicircle around me, screaming, "You're a liar. You're a liar. All you do is lie. You're terrible. You're horrible. I'm like, what is this about? You can't be president because you're just a liar. All you do is lie. This went on for 5-10 minutes. I mean, stupidly. I did try to let them know that I was perfectly capable and that I was not a liar. I tried to defend myself. If you can, and I know it's hard, but if you can, and you may want to work on it, do not defend yourself to these people. Do not defend yourself to the narcissist. They will twist it around and use it against you. So after that disaster, for that fall, for last fall and up through February, I guess, there would be people pounding on my walls as they walked by. They would pound on the elevator that is back up next to me back here, and they would pound on that wall so I could hear it. And this would be done at 2 o'clock in the morning. Wake me up. And I'm on the first floor, so a couple nights someone was running their hands and fingernails against the screen. And then the topper was, a couple people came to my window. They had some sort of boombox, I don't know, their phone, whatever, to play music. I mean, it was actually kind of nice music, but what they would do is they played it loud, and it would play for a couple of minutes. Then they'd turn it off, be off for another, long enough for me to think, okay, they're gone, and settle back. And suddenly would come back on. And this went back and forth 4 times. And then at the end, I could hear 2 people talking. And one was very female and let out this giggle. And the new supply has a giggle that everyone in the community talked about and never liked. So I believe it was her. And also what happened that in December, I left the door to my apartment open so that I could just run down the hall and get something. Well, came back. I had my debit card out. Well, it was gone. I looked for that thing for more than a month before I had it replaced. And also with that debit card gone, I had an inhaler that I use sometimes, and it had been on one of my tables, and that was gone. I looked up and down for that, as well as my debit card. So I get my debit card changed. And I had it. I don't know how someone got in, except I do know that the narc had a master key. But that debit card again went missing out of my purse this time. And that was in February. It was the day of the Super Bowl. I went to pick up some pizza for a group of us that were watching the game. So I reported all this finally to the office. And and they knew. They came, they changed my locks. I did call the police on this one because someone came in at some point with and took this. And it was probably the day before, because lo and behold, that evening there was my inhaler sitting on the table where I had left it. And I hadn't seen it for 5-6 weeks. Hadn't been there. I went through every single drawer, tore apart everything, took all the knickknacks down, went through, cleaned everything. Never there. And then suddenly it reappears one day, just out in the open where I had left it. Yeah, I called the police. And if you would like a little advice, if they ever try to harass you that way, do call the police. And many states now consider emotional and psychological abuse as domestic abuse. Do make a claim. I was ready to file slander charges against the narc. I didn't go through with it because I still had one mutual friend that he and I shared, and I thought she was loyal to me. But no. About 6 weeks ago, she finally dropped the pretense. Her daughter and her went after me, claiming that I would make a scene because when I was there visiting, the narc and the new supply showed up. And as the daughter was passing me in my chair to answer the door, she says, "Get out of here." I didn't get out of there right away. When she came back, I talked to her in the kitchen, and she said, "No, you gotta go, you're gonna make a scene. I'm like, no. I have never made a scene and would never do so in front of your mother. And then while I'm in the kitchen, I hear my friend say to the narc, "Oh, do you know that I got this new scooter?" And he says, "Well, yeah, remember? You sent me pictures of you on the scooter." I'm like, ding dong, light bulb. Not only was she still in contact with him, she and her daughter had asked me to buy that scooter for her, and they would pay me back. And they had also at 2 different times borrowed money from me to make it so they could make it through the month. And they should have plenty. The daughter is misspending over there, and I am now in total agreement that she is a narcissist, and possibly even my friend. So now I have to go to court to try and get my money that they owe me. And do remember that the narcissist wants full control, whether you are with them, whether they've discarded you, whether you have walked away from them. They will continue to manipulate the people around you. And to have peace of mind and to really thoroughly heal that trauma bond, I needed to have everyone who had contact with him out of my life. Now, I thought I dearly loved this friend, but once they kicked me out of their life, without paying me a dime, of course, I felt a lot better. It was like something just broke through. I wouldn't have someone talking to me about the narc. I wouldn't have him knowing what I was doing. Here, I'm sure she told him about my channel. I'm sure she told him about my life coaching training. I'm sure she told him everything I said about him. But now I'm free. And no, this isn't an easy thing to do. Nothing regarding a narcissist is ever easy. So, with that said, again, if you're in the middle of a smear campaign, or you've been through a smear campaign, please comment below. Let me know and others know how you handled it. And let's start commenting more and sharing stories so that we can support each other. Now, until next time, I love you all. Mask up. Let's not share our germs with anyone. And stay healthy, stay safe. Till next time.